Dzień dobry moi drodzy, z tej strony Max. Pamiętacie może jak wspominałem, że nigdy więcej Dragonspine i zimnych klimatów? No właśnie, będziemy dzisiaj robić quest Albedo, który właśnie znajduje się w Dragonspine. Ale standardowo, przypadkowo mi się załączyła cutscenka z początku i nawet nie zdążyłem włączyć nagrywania, więc pojęcia nie mam, co się wydarzyło w pierwszych dialogach, a quest z Albedo pamiętam chyba najmniej. W sensie mam jakieś takie szczątkowe informacje, że bardzo ciężko mi było zrobić ten quest, ale no wiadomo z jakichś powodów, tak? Ja po prostu byłem bardzo nubem wtedy, jakieś 2 lata temu w tą grę.
Sister Rosaria, so here you are. Choir practice is about to.
Rosaria chyba ma to gdzieś.
I've told you already, I don't go in for that kind of thing. I've got more important matters to attend to.
But this event has commemorative significance. The church hopes that all sisters will be present.
No cóż, nie tym razem.
Hopes? That's odd, because I don't recall a fulfill the hopes of others clause in my job description.
I mean, sure, but
But what? You're the event organizer, aren't you? Do you not find it the least bit odd?
Muszę się wczytać tak właściwie, jakim cudem Rosaria dołączyła do tych właśnie, o Boże, zakonnic bodajże? Do tych zakonnic? Skoro ona jest tak bardzo niechętna do tych wszystkich rzeczy.
what do you mean?
This far out from Mondstadt at this hour? Even if you set out right now, I'll wager you'd still miss the opening ceremony. Who knows? Maybe this is someone's grand plan to make a fool out of you.
No cóż.
Huh? Well, that can't be. People aren't like that.
Oj, są.
Evidence decides what people are like, not your feelings. Maybe you're a little too trusting of other people. Don't fret, nobody's gonna blame you if you go back empty-handed. I can't imagine anyone else was delusional enough to think I was gonna show up. But if you dally any longer, you really won't make it.
Lulu.
You're right. It's a very important commemorative event. If I'm late, then. Right, I've gotta get going.
No żegnaj. Chociaż całkiem daleko przebiegłaś, tak patrząc. Mondstadt aż do początku Dragonspine.
Seems like that sister's an expert in making people believe anything she wants.
I thought I heard something. Who are you and why are you eavesdropping?
We'd better watch out. She seems like a dangerous villain. Or a trickster at best.
Paimon.
Oh, really? I'm a member of the long-standing Favonius Church. You're an eavesdropping pixie from who knows where, and you think I'm the trickster?
Damn.
Wait, she heard that? Paimon was whispering so
Nie
quietly.
wydaje mi się.
And as for this outlander you seem to be following... So it's you,
Ona ma wory pod oczami?
the honorary knight that saved us from storm terror. Well then, given your status, I won't press you on your reasons.
Ty
for
masz buty
eavesdropping.
wysokie, Boże.
Otherwise, depending on your answer, I could have arrested you on the spot.
What? Do the Sisters of Mondstadt have the authority to arrest people?
Rosaria tak.
We can't go turning a blind eye to hidden dangers, can we? Why shouldn't sisters have a sense of justice?
That doesn't sound right. But Paimon can't think of a good comeback.
Let's talk about you. What are you doing in the mountains?
We're looking for Albedo.
If it's him you're after, I made a point of noting his tracks. Many people have made their way up after the snowstorm. Let's hope they're still there.
So, are you also looking for him?
No, this is just a professional habit of mine. I sensed elemental traces in these tracks. Never hurts to be vigilant.
You're more like a detective.
I couldn't care what you think. Come on then. I'd like to see what he's up to anyway.
No dobrze.
Rosaria said there were elemental traces in the tracks. They should show up pretty clearly with elemental sight.
You know, little pixie, your ability to appear and disappear at will is very interesting.
Też tak sądzę.
Yeah?
After
It's getting colder and colder. Rosaria, aren't you freezing?
me? I'm all right. I got used to operating in adverse conditions a long time ago.
Huh? Seems like there's more to being a sister in the Favonius Church than Paimon realized.
Mam flashbacki do pierwszego odcinka z Dragon Spine. Czy żeśmy nie szli tą samą drogą? Siema, Albedo.
Is that Albedo? Why would he hang around a place like this?
Może lubi chłodne klimaty.
The word on the street is he loves painting. He'll hang around anywhere for a good landscape. The views and scenery here are pretty good. Potential paintings everywhere you
To
look.
się zgadza, Dragon Spine jest bardzo piękne, bardzo estetyczne, ale nienawidzę tego paska zimna.
But can't he see those hilichurls? Isn't he in danger?
Prędzej my jesteśmy w niebezpieczeństwie.
Uh-oh. Looks like we startled them. Enough talk. Let's take them out of the picture first.
Ja się tu zaraz zamrożę.
Who are you? Why did you alarm
To
me?
wina Paimon, nie moja.
Thank the gods I'd already completed my painting. Would have been a shame to leave these particular hilly trails
I
unfinished.
thought you were painting a landscape.
What's up with painting hilichurls? What makes them so interesting?
I'm afraid the answer isn't easy to explain. If you'd like to have a look at my painting, it may give you a clue.
Ładne. Very avant-garde.
Wow. Look at the detail. But some of it seems to have been done in a hurry.
A, ciekawe dlaczego, Paimon.
You can find these hilly trails anywhere. Quite boring, in fact. Not worth closer inspection. But take a look at this specimen. The build, the coat, and there's a distinct force at work here. In the cyclical lives of such primitive communities, such unique attributes are an indication of evolution at work. Evolution, the transition from nothing into existence, from the known to the
Hold your horses. Something tells me we're in for a thesis and I haven't got the stamina. We found your man. I'm headed back.
No dobrze. To żegnaj.
What? Don't you have any questions for him? Hey! What a weirdo.
Oj tam.
So Sister Rosaria brought you. Surprising. And I didn't have time to thank her. But back to the point. From her words, it seems that you were looking
Jak
for me.
najbardziej.
We met a girl in Mondstadt, Sucrose. She said you were stuck with your research.
I see. So Sucrose sent you here. Then, if I'm not mistaken, you must be the honorary
Jak
knight.
najbardziej.
You've got the whole of Mondstadt talking. I've heard a bit of everything. Your actions during Storm Terror's attack, your elemental control, and quite a few other
Ciekawe, czy na
mysterious
końcu Genshina
things.
będzie wyjaśnione tak naprawdę, czym jest Traveler i skąd pochodzi. To by było ciekawe.
I'll skip to the conclusion. There's only one possibility after all. You came from afar. From another world, correct?
Correct.
Excellent. If I could procure your assistance, I think my research would benefit enormously.
Your research?
Forgive me. This must be confusing. Where should I begin? The essence of life?
Whoa. You want to start with that?
You're right. Giving a demonstration would be better than trying to
A co ty
explain.
kombinujesz?
For example, awakening life. Breathing new life into fallen leaves.
Holy shit.
You can do that?
Alchemy really is useful.
However, I have a particular seed in my possession. The method I'm talking about has produced no results. It's like you, in that it hails from another world. Helping it to grow, to bloom. That's the problem my research is up against. That's where I need your
Co,
assistance.
zostanę jeszcze alchemikiem?
Well, if you're struggling to figure it out, Paimon's not sure we're gonna be much assistance.
I beg to differ. I'm unable to comprehend the intricacies of life outside of the known world. But you're not from the known world. By observing and researching you, I may just be able to find a way to get the seed to sprout.
So, I'm an object of research?
Shall we just get out of here? This sounds a little freaky.
What's in it for me?
Mora, knowledge,
Pieniążki.
and the answer to the question you are seeking. It happens to be an answer that I can provide. How does that sound? Time for a change of surroundings. We should be going. There's research to do.
bardzo mi się nie podoba fakt, że cały ciekawy lore Albedo jest
Albedo and that
ukryty
traveler seem
przez
to have hit
jakieś
it off.
różne time limited eventy. To jest tak bez sensu.
Takes a weirdo to know one, I guess. I wonder, does this constitute a risk to Mondstadt?
Czy zostaniemy teraz obiektem badań? Lisek.
Paimon has a question. After the seed sprouts, will it grow into anything?
To jest dobre pytanie akurat.
I don't know, but I feel the importance will lie in the method, not the endpoint. Using alchemy to awaken otherworldly life into that would constitute a big leap in my understanding of the essence of life. After awakening, even creation may be possible.
Wszystko w porządku?
Still a little difficult to understand?
No, Paimon's got a brain.
Czy ja wiem?
What's the seed gonna become? Isn't that more interesting than whatever it was you were saying?
Does it seem like you understood?
Well, if it turns out to be a delicious fruit, dinner's on me.
Yay! Paimon's holding you to it.
You sure know how to keep payment on board.
Well, let's just say I occasionally have to look after a child.
Ha,
Another
Klee.
lengthy explanation, I'm afraid. I suppose it's one of the few non-alchemy related disciplines I'm any good at. The subject of my first research was the elements. In this world, manipulating the elements requires a vision. Though I can't see anything resembling one on your person, how you're able to freely manipulate elemental power is something I'd like to ascertain. I've got a few questions in that regard. Firstly, do you have any extra organs?
Damn.
A second heart? A fourth stomach? Things of that nature.
Not that I'm aware of.
Fascinating. And this
Floating
floating
child.
child is connected to your body in
Na
some
szczęście
way?
nie.
What a stupid question. Can't you see the gap between us? And another thing, it's Paimon, not floating
Mam nadzieję,
child.
że też na końcu gry dowiemy się tak naprawdę, czym jest Paimon i skąd ona pochodzi.
I was merely considering the possibility that you were an external organ. Perhaps there is some invisible force connecting you.
I cuff Paimon with a fishing rod.
Oh, that rules out that possibility. I wonder, did Paimon guide the elemental power to you? But that would mean that Paimon's elemental power would be enough to break through a mountain rock at least 10 meters thick,
Ale ma już
or
dość.
cause the waterfall south of Springville to flow backwards. No, that definitely can't be it.
Hey, how would you know anyway?
In that case, it would appear that there's no obvious difference between the composition of your body and that of the humans in this
Na to
world.
wychodzi.
Given that there's clearly a discrepancy in our research, it seems that only experimentation will yield the answers. Firstly, this mysterious elemental power. I'd like to examine exactly how it manifests externally. Let me lure a few slimes to the area. Perhaps you'd be able to defeat them, using whatever method comes most naturally to you.
Tak długo jak nie zamarznę, to jak najbardziej.
Huh? Doesn't seem very sciencey.
Direct and clear observation are imperative to a good experiment. This is just a simple exercise. Naturally, if you require a greater challenge, we could bring in 6 Oceanics.
Może nie?
Slimes. Slimes are fine.
As long as I am not being battered around by hydro mimics.
Well, prepare yourself. The slimes will be here any moment.
No dobrze. Slajmy.
Out of the frying pan.
Oj, co ja bym zrobił bez Shanling?
Great work. Did you feel anything out of the ordinary?
Prawie umarłem?
If you're injured, I have a few emergency potions ready.
Just a bit cold.
Excellent. According to my observations, the manifestation of the external elemental flow is as expected. Elemental reactions are normal. There's nothing out of the ordinary.
No to dobrze chyba, nie?
Now that we know that the external flow is manifesting normally, let's test the internal flow.
Internal flow? How do you test that?
It's very simple. I can use alchemy to create a potion that will extract elemental power. If the elemental power is stored or accumulated physically within your body, this potion may elicit an elemental reaction.
Will it make my stomach swirl?
Sounds kinda terrifying.
Don't worry. In the normal course of events, you'd feel some temporary queasiness. No bodily injury.
And in the abnormal course of events?
If anything unexpected occurs, I've made the necessary preparations. Try not to worry.
That's not hugely reassuring.
Well, it's not that there aren't any risks involved. But if there is anything blocking your elemental flow, we'll be able to locate it with this
A
test.
czyli teraz zostanę królikiem doświadczalnym, rozumiem.
Just a warning. If an internal elemental reaction occurs for any other reason, that's a bad sign.
This is like a health checkup.
Yes, that's an excellent way to think about it. Before we get started, the potion we'll use for the test is missing a catalyst. We'll need to find it. It's a type of ore known as star silver, but unfortunately not all of it is suitable. I'll take you to my campsite. We can gather some star silver ore on the way. I'll point out any likely contender. All going to plan, we should be able to begin concocting the potion when we get to the campsite.
Paimon's still got a few safety concerns, but it seems like there's a silver lining. Let's keep our eyes open.
No dobrze. Skoro tak mówisz... Jak to nowy mail? Amber! Ojeju! Czyś jakby Amber dosłownie miała urodziny bardzo niedawno?
This one. Usable with a bit of polish. What luck. This should be enough.
Dobra, adios.
My campsite is just up ahead. I'll lead the way.
A, że przytulnie masz. A co to robił Timoteus?
This is my campsite. I've added the materials we collected to the concoction. While we are waiting, have a look over here. My assistant Timaeus here is helping me with my research. I'm guessing you may have met in Mondstadt
Jak
already.
najbardziej.
Hello! I've just gotten hold of the data from your experiment. The report is already up on the board there.
No to dobrze.
Whoa! Look at all the data! You got all these results from one slime battle?
Nic nie rozumiem, ale buja.
I wouldn't call them results, inferences, and a few daring guesses perhaps. I think the most rational direction would be to expound on the phylogenetic relationship between this traveler and the slimes.
Rational?
Consider, you don't have a vision, but you can manipulate elemental energy. The slimes don't have visions either, yet they too are able to manipulate the elements. Following this line of thought, I'm sure we'll be able to establish a basis in fact.
No dobrze.
Not bad for a point of entry. But strictly speaking, slimes are elemental life forms. In other words, beings consisting entirely of the elements. A cryoregisvine, or even a whopperflower might be a better analogy. But tracing back the phylogenetic relationships between plants and animals, you might have to trace back to the world's origins. In that sense, things might get difficult, don't you think?
Bardzo możliwe.
Yes, sir. That sounds correct.
After all, we've got our primary data already. If it turned out that he did have a phylogenetic relationship with this world... Now that really would be something, wouldn't
Nie,
it?
naprawdę to się staje obiektem badań.
It would. Apologies. I was so excited to get the data. I'll slow down a bit next time. Speaking of data, to complete our research, we'll need some more. I'll be conducting analysis here for the time being. If you're
Great, I'll leave you to it.
I co, tak sobie pójdziesz?
Looks like the potion's ready. I'll try a little first. If all goes well, I'll hand it over to you.
Od razu się cykam.
line with my expectations. Ready
No,
to
ale
drink.
się świeci.
Remember to keep calm at all times. And breathe deeply if you feel unwell.
Ależ radioaktywne. O Boże. Co tu wypadło? To ja to zabiorę w takim razie, a myślę, że tobie nie będzie to aż tak potrzebne. A potion that Albedo made using alchemy, despite its unusual color, Albedo insists that the potion will work just as expected. Drinking it should not cause any adverse side effects. No, przekonamy się. No, coś mnie gryzie.
Tasty? You've got a funny look on your face.
It's burning a bit.
You said you tried some already. You sure it was ready? What happened to him?
Oh, this was the result I was expecting. And a very positive one at that. This potion channels elemental power into the body. Under normal circumstances, a repelling reaction is to be expected.
No patrz.
But if the internal elemental flow is unimpeded, you'll only experience momentary discomfort. Once the flow is complete, there won't be any other effects.
So you knew you'd be sick and still drank some?
Masochizm?
It was my own concoction, of course. Only natural for me to be the guinea pig.
What about the risk to you?
Perhaps it's just scholarly self-assurance, and it certainly speeds things up. In
Skoro tak
conclusion,
mówisz.
I'd say we have our conclusion. As far as elemental energy is concerned, you're no different from anyone else in this world. Nothing peculiar.
Aw, Paimon wanted something cooler to happen.
No chyba nie.
Then again, better an ordinary result than a peculiar result. Peculiar results have a tendency to be of the undesirable variety.
I feel like you're referring to something in particular.
The good thing about ordinary is that everything is an object of reference, and everyone understands you. People are the same. They can understand, empathize, encourage, and support one another. When you're sick, a doctor can diagnose you because they are you. When something goes wrong, you can ask people who've made the same mistake for their experience because you are them. But a peculiar person, they don't have much recourse for the things we take for granted. The essence of their life is fundamentally different. For example, a human can't understand the life of a pyroregisvine or an eye of the storm. Have I explained it clearly enough?
Still seems like there's another layer of meaning to your
To
words.
sum up, this has been a positive outcome. Going forward, you can use your elemental power without fear. Timaeus, the results of the new experiment are out. If you could see to collating them.
Just a moment, sir. I'll handle it. You gave me a lot to consider. Really stretched my limits. I'm thinking a lot clearer now. Having you down as an animal wasn't very precise of me, but starting with the premise of an elemental life form, now that was...
Damn.
Not bad. I think it's an interesting line of inquiry. Whatever the truth of the matter, I'd like your research at the fore as opposed to my judgment.
You can count on me, sir. I'll extract a result satisfactory to all.
Is he trying to join the Knights? He's starting to sound like a sucker.
Nie wydaje mi się.
What Paimon meant to say was, that's the spirit. Mr. Albedo, say something.
Before we can proceed with our research, I need to prepare something. Wait one moment. If you're interested, why not have a look around? It may help to pass the time.
Pogrzebiemy sobie trochę po twoim laboratorium. Co masz w beczce? Masło? O, okej. Teraz przyjdę chyba na twoim drugim koncie, skoro masz to takie fajne pyszności. Looks like an alchemy work table. Some potions and other apparatus are laid out there. Are these what Albedo uses to investigate the world? It wouldn't hurt to touch it, would it? Mogę dotknąć?
Here comes Albedo. Let's go see him.
I'm back. Did you see anything interesting?
Your things aren't very organized.
Agreed. I'd love to find a moment to put them all in order. Still, experiments come first. Well, on
Są
with the
rzeczy
research.
ważne i ważniejsze.
There may be significant differences between different worlds. Take Tevat, for example. Here, those with visions can manipulate the elements. But worlds may well exist where only one person is able to do so. Or even everyone. So, leaving elements to one side. Do you possess any unique
Czy ja
abilities?
wiem?
Ones that don't exist in this world? I think answering this question calls for the same methodology as last time. In other words, time for the next experiment.
I drank my pill, thanks.
No, no. You shan't be required to exert quite so much effort this time around. Now, see this pillar here? Use your willpower to try and break it.
Paimon, you give it a shot.
You think Paimon knows how to do that
Jak
stuff?
najbardziej.
That was your best effort? Well, can't be helped, I suppose. Have you tried using your elemental power with food? I don't mean for cooking as such. Rather, channeling your power into the ingredients themselves.
Czy ja wiem?
I'm curious to see how the taste and texture respond. It may even help with proliferation.
Sure, you're not just peckish.
I suppose I have a curiosity for things that others find surprising. Anyway, why don't you cook us up a sunshine sprat? I've just finished preparing the recipe.
Cooking? Paimon was looking forward to more mad scientist stuff.
Not only is this recipe a staple for me, it's also worth experimenting with and highly nutritious.
Paimon bets you're just hungry. It does sound yummy, though. Okay, Paimon approves.
I will save you a thing or two.
Good buddies are always on the same page.
I'll leave you to it then. Looking forward to the results. If there's anything left over, maybe Timaeus can finish the last morsels.
No cóż.
Paimon doesn't think we'll have that problem. How are we gonna channel elemental power into the food? Maybe try the willpower thing again.
Dobra, znowu się bawimy w kucharza. Rozumiem.
That was fast. Looking forward to testing the results.
Smacznego. Bon appetit.
An average outcome experimentally, but you've really brought out the flavor. You seem well versed in the science of
Jak
gastronomy.
najbardziej jestem najlepszym kucharzem, jaki można znaleźć tylko w Mondstadt.
As far as the proliferation hypothesis is concerned, we've come up short. Seems like food presents the same headaches in your world as it does ours. Unless... Could it be that the natural laws of this world are limiting your unique abilities?
Mam wrażenie, że Albedo wie coś więcej niż reszta postaci.
We just didn't know how to channel elemental power into the food. It's a little more complicated than adding herbs and spices, you know.
Not to worry. At least we put some food to good use. No need to feel disheartened. And here's your portion. Enjoy. I can box it up if you like.
No dobrze.
Woohoo! Thanks! Glad you were paying attention.
You're a Paimon's new favorite.
I can tell that you're good friends. Paimon was keeping an eye on you and your safety during the whole experiment.
Czy ja wiem?
Not that Paimon would have been able to do much if things had gone wrong. But anyway,
Hey! You were being nice a second ago. But you do have tasty recipes, so Paimon forgives
Ach
you.
tak.
And you're right, we are good friends. You have good friends too, right? Good students?
Może?
yes, I'm fortunate too, I suppose. Anyway, moving on to the next experiment. There are all manner of alchemical items here. Keeping them in their proper place is a challenge at the best of times. A while ago, I had the misfortune of misplacing a
Oh?
batch. I managed to retrieve the majority, but 2 vials have been evading me. Animal crystal fly elemental extract and electrohypostasis powder.
Paimon's barely finished eating and you want us to go gathering again? again?
Błagam, nie.
Don't worry if you can't locate them. I was planning to replace them anyway. Though finding them would save me the hassle. If you had, say, a superpower, like night vision or vibratory sensing, lost property would be a thing of the past. I must have dropped them somewhere in the area where you were looking just now.
Świetnie.
Guess we'd better take a look.
There should be some elemental traces on the lost items.
Oh yeah! You could use elemental sight!
No dobrze.
This must be electrohypostasis powder!
O, znalezione.
The extract of an animo crystal fly can only be animo elemental energy, right? This has gotta be it!
Goodness, you managed to find them. Incredible. 1,000
Nie ma
thanks.
problemu.
I'm wondering, this elemental sight, this is what allowed you to locate the items and find me here on the mountains,
Jak
correct?
najbardziej.
Yep! Guess it does sort of count as a superpower, huh?
Unfortunately, though elemental sight is seldom seen, it is not unheard of in Teyvat. Only a never-before-seen otherworldly power would be of benefit to my research.
You mean we failed again?
Nic nowego.
Don't be disheartened. This falls entirely within my expectations. Besides, getting these items back, I'd call this a very worthwhile experiment. I have to commend your deduction that the items would contain elemental traces. Right then. Up until now, our research has focused on your otherworldly identity. Our research on your identity as one of us is just beginning.
How do I get off this train?
In essence, the differences between humans are reflected in our intellectual and physical capabilities. Let's start with
To
physical.
znaczy?
Looking out from where we're standing, can you see what Sucrose is doing?
Nope.
And if you jump from here and landed on that cliff, the one over there, could you see her then?
Nope.
So what about if you planted a single blow on the mountain face here, and it burst into a million fragments? Then could you see her?
Sounds like we're still on the superpower test.
Then I shouldn't get too excited. Still, we'll gain a more thorough understanding with an experiment. I know of a location that will be perfect for a physical test. Please, follow me.
Znowu będziemy się bić? Jestem ciekaw, co te wszystkie tu naokoło porozwalane budowle po całych górach Dragonspine oznaczają. W sensie, co tu kiedyś było, bo te budynki, nie wiem, wyglądają trochę jak takie... Wyglądają trochę, na przykład to wygląda trochę jak wieża, taka strażnicza, a tam wyglądała jak brama, więc pojęcia nie mam, co to może znaczyć. Nie wiem, czy to był jakiś zamek kiedyś? Aż muszę się w to zagłębić. Ale to ładnie wygląda.
You want us to jump from up here?
Będzie magik?
Not necessarily. Not if you know of a better method, that is.
That's not very reassuring.
Whichever method you choose, the experiment will end when you reach the opposite shore of the lake. I will factor the time expended and your top speed into my comparative analysis.
The opposite side of the lake. So we're gonna be swimming?
Nie wydaje mi się.
Without limitations, we complete tasks intuitively, using the method that seems most rational to us. Some of us would be unable to stand the icy waters. Others might find the whole thing rather
Na pewno
refreshing.
nie ja.
No matter what choice you make, it's all a part of the experiment. For me, every detail is invaluable to the research.
My kind of experiment.
Then if you would, please, I eagerly await the results.
No dobrze.
Wait a minute. While we're busy testing, what exactly are you gonna be doing?
Me? Recording data, responding to risks, providing emotional support.
So if we do decide to go swimming, you gonna dive in with us?
No. Unless you're thinking of conducting competitive research?
Oh. Forget Paimon said anything.
A, zamarznę zaraz.
Great work. I've never seen a performance quite
O,
like it.
dzięki, dzięki.
Your reputation precedes you, traveler. The data shows that you're easily outperforming the average citizen.
No
in
dlatego
Mondstadt.
jestem bohaterem w tym świecie.
But you followed us the whole way without breaking a sweat.
Me? Actually, I used alchemy to cheat a little. But anyway, if it turns out that the natural laws of Tavad do not affect you, I should be able to make various inferences about the otherworldly civilization you belong to.
Czy ja wiem?
If the natural laws of Tavad do affect you, then I shall be able to make inferences into the kind of evolution that would occur under the absence of such
I co ty
effects.
kombinujesz?
The innumerable possibilities that this could present, the captivating insights, it would be something to savor again and again.
But how does this help your research?
You've helped me to unravel many of the problems that were holding it back.
Naprawdę?
When we return to the campsite, I should be able to show you something interesting.
What else have you researched this thoroughly?
I may be about to make some analogies between you and a few unusual specimens. I hope you won't be offended. Gold, petrified trees, a sun 8 times the size of our own. The essence of the investigative process is enthralling, but such feelings are inevitably fleeting in nature. I'm willing to pour all my energy into research, and yet specimens are finite. As the unknown transitions into the realm of scientific understanding, the feeling of enlightenment is lost. All these things that start out as objects of fascination end up possessing the prosaic mundanity of a sunsetia or a sweet flower. They cease to be noteworthy.
Oh, so that's why you wanted to paint those hilly turtles? Because you got to see something new and interesting and the differences between them?
Ciekawa koncepcja.
Precisely. To quote my exact words from earlier, these creatures are, for the most part, quite boring, not worth closer inspection. There is precious little about them that serves to pique my curiosity now.
So after all these experiments, are we gonna be, like, boring to you? Like some basic draft of a sketch?
Of course not. You have been of great assistance to me, and I will remember this friendship for a lifetime.
No.
Now, before we head back to the campsite, there's one more experiment. Intelligence.
Słucham?
Follow me. There are some other ruins nearby.
O matko bosko.
I imagine you must have encountered more than a few conundrums during
Ale
your
całkiem
travels.
sporo, tak właściwie.
I'd like to observe your intelligence by means of a practical test of your capabilities, much as we did for the physical test.
No problem.
I'd like you to explore these ruins and return with your
Okay.
findings. There are 2 puzzles located at the far ends of the ruins. After completion, you should be able to activate the mechanism in the center.
Okej.
As with the physical test, there are no restrictions. Everything you do is an action I wish to observe.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Remember that this is a test of intellect. So should you get lucky in any way, that won't be factored in as part of the test. So, let's see you in action. Start wherever you like.
Okay. I see.
It's a complex environment, so proceed with caution.
More speed.
Okej. To było nawet.
Sealy like these are a common sight in the mountains. Returning them to their rightful places is up to you.
Chodź tu, chodź. Zapraszam na marenkę. Nie, tylko nie te.
It should now be possible to activate the central mechanism. Exactly what will happen when you do is
Oh.
something I'm looking forward to. Oh,
Tak się pozbywam
seems that the
wody.
water level has suddenly decreased.
Zaczął się dzieje.
We
O,
should be able to see what's in the
o,
water now.
spadaj.
Let's have a look. What's this?
I feel like I've seen this before.
To the best of my knowledge, these belong to a script of some kind. They can be found all over Teyvat,
Naprawdę?
but they've never given up their secrets. There's still a lot to learn about them.
Ciekawe, czy da się to
As for
jakoś
why they should never
odszyfrować.
have come to rest here, a true mystery. Let me make a copy first. I'll make time to go over them in greater detail after our research.
Another thing for the don't understand list. Unsolvable mystery this, weird experiment that. It'd be nice to get some cool results for once. Seems like if you want the reward, you gotta pay the
Ewidentnie.
I've truly gained a lot from all this. Comparatively, the little reward I can offer is too small to mention. Let me return to the campsite first. By the time you get back, I may just have a fleeting miracle for you to witness.
See you soon.
Paimon's kind of looking forward to seeing the result of all this brainwave.
Dosłownie.
Unless you can think of anything better to do, let's head back to the campsite.
Z wielką chęcią.
Not so fast.
O!
You're not leaving until I'm convinced that nothing dangerous is going on here.
You didn't leave the mountain?
I most certainly did not. And I've witnessed everything that you and Albedo have been up to. I must say, you let your guards down. Or maybe you were drawn in by his compelling-sounding hypothesis and friendly demeanor.
What do you mean?
Taking orders from a complete stranger, drinking anonymous potions, participating in all kinds of strange experiments? I'd sooner believe you were tricked than that you would be so naive. Or perhaps you were colluding from the beginning.
Sister Rosaria's guard's so high, she can't even see over the top of it.
I was just helping him with his
It
research.
doesn't matter what you think. He could be a saint for all you know. But I understand him a little better than you,
Ach
Outlander.
tak, teraz wszędzie każdy będzie mi wypominał, że nie jestem stąd.
I'm only concerned with one thing. Whether his alchemy has transformed you into something more sinister.
No way! Paimon would have sensed it. And anyway, he didn't even use any alchemy.
With an alchemist of his level, you wouldn't sense a thing. In any case, I'm not about to let a potential threat back into Mondstadt.
So, what are you gonna do?
You came here to be sure, so you must have your ways of assuring yourself.
I've got to hand it to you. You have your moments. If I can be sure that nothing you came into contact with is dangerous, that's good enough for me. I've investigated everything else. The only items left on the agenda are these symbols.
But we don't even know what they mean.
That much is true. Not to mention, seems like there's nothing more to them. But for insurance purposes, I'd better make a copy. This is now a location of interest. Regular patrols should be set
Czemu
up
tak
here.
właściwie ty się tak tym interesujesz, Mordunio?
Now then, all things considered, I deem that you pose no immediate threat, which is what I was hoping. I would have been one very unhappy sister if you'd made me work overtime on your account.
Czemu ty się tym interesujesz, to po pierwsze?
Before we go our separate ways, Outlander, a word of advice. Don't be so quick to trust Albedo, and don't repeat the same mistakes that you did this time. You made a lot of rash decisions today.
She's gone. So stubborn.
Dosłownie.
Mondstadt doesn't have many people like that.
Maybe she's just sensitive.
Huh. Never mind her. Let's go see Albedo.
You're back. Good timing. I've just about reached the
No
conclusion.
nareszcie.
You took quite a while. Did you get held up on the way back?
Not really.
Time for the results. We got a myriad of data today, and it was very difficult to finish all the research in one go. But the integral preliminary conclusion that I can offer you is you're very much like a human from this world.
That's it?
You couldn't tell that just by looking? We spent all day working our butts off for that?
Please, I understand that this may have seemed self-evident to you, but in fact, nothing in this world should be taken for granted. Have you ever considered that the world of Tevat may have a natural hostility to Outlanders?
Only the gods would know.
I mentioned the natural laws of this world. You're able to converse with me here without consequence, and nothing seems amiss. But it's arguably a small miracle. The only other life form that, like you, has come here from afar is the seed that I mentioned.
A skąd ty to masz tak właściwie?
Under the effects of Tevat's natural laws, it isn't even able to sprout, let alone bloom. But after I observed you, I had another idea.
O?
Imitating you helped to inspire my alchemy. And so,
Cóż to jest?
Whoa! It looks like something's appearing.
Chyba nie jest żaden Whooper Flower, nie?
The transition from nothing into something, from shoot to stem, and now to fruition. Is not nurturing otherworldly life also nurturing the world itself?
Aww.
It was so short-lived.
It would seem that that's as far as we go. A transient bloom of incomparable beauty. Life's proudest achievement.
Paimon thought, with all our efforts, it might have bloomed forever, and it didn't even have any fruit.
Life is a manifold tapestry of free entities. Its value shouldn't derive from how long it stays with us. Even a momentary burst is precious. A short life can be well lived. A life lived efficiently, lived to perfection, is necessarily one unburdened by loneliness. So, do you understand what I meant about us conversing here arguably being a small miracle?
I wonder how my sister is.
Huh? Things feel a little heavy right
Dosłownie.
now. Don't be sad. You've got Paimon to look after you. Albedo, Paimon really wants to be your friend.
Thank you both. Even if dispelling loneliness is not essential for life, it certainly doesn't hurt. Your help inspired me to discover the means to make a flower bloom.
So I'm a helpful specimen?
I mean that the time I've spent traveling with you in the mountains was a valuable journey for
No,
me.
miło.
In the future, if the need arises, can I solicit your help again?
Sure, even if you just want some company, find me anytime.
Well, glad I can count on you. I made a point throughout of telling him how ordinary the results were. But what was that sediment I saw forming at the bottom of the vial? It should not have been there. What could it
Czemu właśnie
be?
stworzył jakiegoś Wallflowera?
Those born of earth are bound by its imperfections, but those born of chalk are free of impurities. You and I are alike, both composed of a substance that has yet to be fully defined. If, one day, I lose control, destroy Mondstadt, destroy everything, can I rely on you to stop me?
Co to za jakieś ciężkie pytanie? Przestań, jest późno w nocy, ja już nie ogarniam, co się dzieje. O matko, to było długie. W ogóle to coś, w sensie ta ikona na questie Albedo wygląda trochę jak płód. Gardło mi wysiada, ale dziękuję wam bardzo serdecznie za oglądanie. Trzymajcie się do kolejnego odcinka. Cześć!